Marc Thielman is here. Can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead. Oh, Brian, you're on mute. Were you trying to tell me something?
Yep, Madam Chair, I was just going to say if people are calling in on the phone, they may have to press *6 if they're called system.
Oh, thank you. I'll announce that one more time. Thank you. *6 if you're calling in on phone to unmute yourself, but I believe I did hear somebody.
That's Marc Thielman. Can you hear me now?
I can. Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't even have to push *6, so I must be special. So listen, I'm Marc Thielman. I'm Alsea School Superintendent, also a candidate for governor, and I just wanted to, I'm glad I got to speak hopefully towards the end of this, because I wanted to highlight some really, really fantastic statements that I've heard from members of the committee and the Justice Department, and this is the piece that I think is really concerning for me. So regarding 1529 A-Engrossed, I think my favorite is when the committee chair said, speaking for Rep. Hayden after I just listened to him speak, that it's not about what they do, it's about who has the authority to do it. And I'm here to say on public record, it has everything to do with what is done once an emergency is declared. The even more concerning piece about this half-truth of a bill is the fact that you have sworn members of the Justice Department not speaking at all about the legal justification for an unelected official to declare a, quote, minor emergency that has federal match funds and other implications. For a committee chair to say that the governor is not an expert, but an unelected bureaucrat is to devalue the position of the governor. Moving along, I think the other one that I think should be put on the record so that people can understand is that they talked about strains on healthcare systems, strains that the government created. And then they talked about amazing volunteers who said during a weather incident that they would not be able to deploy for 3 days because they had to wait for the governor to declare an emergency before they could deploy during a weather incident. But that's not true at all. You see, there's this thing called the Captain Obvious Clause. If you have a natural disaster and people need help and you have things to help them with, you should help them. But we're talking about a government that says we will only rule under decree and by permission. So basically what I'm hearing is these folks would stay by with their tents not set up while people suffered because they didn't have permission because of liability. This particular bill is a half-truth that says unelected bureaucrats 3 times removed from the governor can declare any emergency they want, and then we can deploy volunteers and the state gets paid in kind for them on a match. And I think that's the piece that should be discussed. And the final thing, and I think it was a gal named Karen, but I'm not sure, she said only experts should have the authority to declare an emergency. The governor is not an expert. And I think I'd like to leave people with that, and I'll segue that into the fact that that sentiment was reverberated by the pharmaceutical lobbyists who said all enforcement mechanisms should be utilized so people will be forced to use our products and drugs. At least that's how I interpreted their words. So I think what we need is more truth and a lot less lie. So 1529 should not be passed. Thank you for your time.